am so excited for today's live stream. And yes, we are live. I'm Mike Goldstein, Easy Dating Coach. I've got my new and awesome friend, Alex Cormont. Alex, say hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Mike, for having me tonight. It's very nice from you.
Of course. Guys, tell us where you're from. I'm in California. Alex is joining us from Miami. So we got the whole United States taken care of. And of course, Alex is the French relationship expert.
That's true.
We got it covered today. And since this is live, make sure you go in the comments and ask us any questions. We're going to go over a little material and then we'll get to the questions. Today, what we're going to talk about is why men act distant after getting close. And you're going to do this instead to get them running back to you. And thankfully, we got Alex here, who is an expert in that. So he's going to solve this whole mystery for us. Before we get started, I have a question for everyone watching. Is Alex Cormont my doppelganger? I think we look alike.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What do you think? Do we look alike? I'm curious.
I want to see the comments.
Me too.
I want to see.
All right, buddy. Let's get into some dating advice.
Sure.
Why men act distant after getting close? Do this instead to get them running back. Let's talk about men. We're two men. Let's explain how men work. Why do men fear commitment?
That's a very good question. Thank you so much, Mike, for having me. As you said, I am from France. So first of all, I have a strong French accent, but I will try to speak slowly so you can understand me, because normally I talk with a lot of energy. So basically, I started being a relationship expert in 2007. And first of all, I was giving advice to men to be able to have some more self-confidence, to be able to attract the women of their dreams. And I started to write blogs, do videos, and the most people that were commenting were women. And they asked me, Alex, why do men fear commitment? These questions come from France, from China, from the US. I know that you hear that a lot also, Mike. So basically, it's very difficult for you to understand the fear of commitment. What I want to tell you is a man will always have the fear to lose his freedom, to have the fear that he will be in a relationship where he cannot be 100% himself. In the meantime, what I've seen in my experience as a relationship expert is most of the time you will fall in love with a man that love you on a pedestal. So once you start to be gentle, nice, to do things for him, when you start to fall in love, that's where he will feel that he doesn't want to commit in the relationship. So I will say that men has this fear of commitment because they want a woman on a pedestal. They want to live this relationship 100%. So they like to date, they like to do new things, but unfortunately, when it becomes serious, they will think about their past relationship, their breakup, every relationship or situation where they were very, very sad. Does it make sense, Mike?
Yeah, Alex, it does. I got a question. All right, so a guy wants a woman on a pedestal. That makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. So, but most women that are listening, let me defend the women here. They're probably like, I just want a guy to accept me for who I am, just like I'm going to accept him for who he is. So what about like if he's so terrified, like does he need to go work on that and work on himself before he can date our lady? Or does she have a role in like kind of helping him through this fear? And what's the balance? And if he's got no hope of ever getting over this fear and putting her on the pedestal, when does she get rid of him? Sorry, that's a loaded question, but.
Yeah, but that's a very good question, because most of the time I hear this comment from women telling me, but Alex, why do I have to do everything? And why do I have to play this game? I don't feel that it's a game. It's mostly to understand also each other. And based on your question, Mike, I feel that today, women needs to be 100% themselves. That's at this moment where they are just on a pedestal. So basically, in my philosophy, when I coach women, I just realized that this guy has the fear of commitment. And if you can be 100% yourself, like the beginning when you met and when you dated, I can guarantee you that he will fall in love with you. So of course, I don't want you to play a game. I don't want you to be another woman or to not be 100% yourself. And sometimes it's not valuable to fight for a man that has the fear of commitment and that need to see someone like a coach, a psychologist, someone that can help him overcome his fears. But the women I coach, they ask me for advice. And the best advice I can share is you need to make sure that you will be 100% yourself. So he can see you as someone unique, someone different. And he wants to be committed to the relationship. The problem is in today's world, men, when they see that you want to be involved in a relationship, they can fear, they can do a step back, and they can think about the past relationship. That doesn't mean that it's not easy to be in a relationship, but I want you to be sometimes a little bit careful about your behavior. Let me give an example here. I coach a woman a few years ago. It was when I started being a relationship expert. And a man told her, I am in love with you. And she responded, I love you. And then the day after, he said, I'm sorry, I don't feel that we are on the same path. Because when you said, I love you, you scared me. Sometimes it's just a matter of word. I am in love is not I love you. That's why I would recommend to use the mirroring technique, which is just having the same words or the same energy of him. So if he's being distant, just try to be a little bit distant for a while and see how he will respond. Because most of the people, when someone is being distant, we want to ask questions. We want to know why. And I'm not saying that it's a mistake. I'm just saying that sometimes it's not the best behavior because maybe this guy doesn't want to answer your question. So Mike, to answer the question you asked me, I feel there is no game. Maybe sometimes the man is very needs to be and see someone, needs to be in a process of working on himself. But if you love someone that is being distant, I will ask you to mirror his attitude, his behavior, and to not be too needy. Because in this case, if you ask question, but why? Why are you doing this? Why did you tell me that you love me? Why are you not responding to my text message? You're putting so much pressure, but in the same time, you're also validating his behavior, where we should try to be a little bit distant.
I love that approach. And as a man, if I go into my man cave, which is a healthy thing, the man cave, I love when a woman just leans back and waits for me to return. But with that being said, Alex, and guys, just I put a banner here. We've got 2 free gifts from Alex. We've got his ebook. And what is the other free gift you're giving so much stuff away. What's the other thing?
Yeah, so basically, I just translated my bestseller in France called The Truth About Love. So it's a big ebook that you can have it for free. And I'm also giving you the seven powerful messages. So if a man is being distant or if this guy is not very involved in the relationship, you should try to use these 7 messages so you can just regain a little bit of power. Thank you, Mike.
Of course, I put that in the description.
Sure.
I want to go back to this. So we got a guy in the man cave. We're leaning back. But what I'm concerned about is so many of my clients and the people listening, we get into these mediocre relationships and then we end up staying with a guy that's not appropriate. How do you differentiate between man cave, like healthy, like let him have a little space versus not a good guy, maybe should move on to the next guy?
That's a very good question. And you know what? I interview you on my YouTube channel and I learn about you this theory of the man cave, which is very good. And I feel when I remember myself before to be in this relationship with my fiance, I remember that I used to need it. I need my man cave. And today too, sometimes I will need my time for myself. But what is very important is, first of all, a guy needs to communicate. Now I learn to say, I feel that I need my time for myself, which this is healthy. Instead of ghosting someone and coming back 2 weeks after saying, oh, but yes, you cannot understand. I needed my time, but I hurted you. So basically a man that will tell you, I need my time, or that will communicate on his emotion, his feelings. I feel it's someone that is working on himself, or that's someone that you can trust. Another situation that I've seen with someone is a man that is involved that wants to see you, that wants to meet you. It's very important. But most of the time, the bad men, I will say the toxic men, they will be very in love, very involved, and then they will leave you with no words, nothing during 2-3 weeks. Come back and be very exceptional in their attitude and their behavior. I will say that consistency is the only answer to Mike's question. When a man is consistent, when a man is not playing hot and cold, I believe this is a real relationship, even if sometimes he needs some distance or he needs his main cave. That's a very good point in your question. That's very important because it doesn't make sense to stay with someone that doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. Because as human, you will start to fight for him. You will start to give him attention. You want to show him that you know how to cook, that you have this job, you want to be successful, you have the right mindset. Basically, you're perfect. But the game was not real in the sense of whatever you do, this guy would just play with you. And we want to avoid this guy by looking at consistency and communication. I would say these two keys are very, very, very important. So communication, yes, but the first action will be the distance. I want you to remember this because if you try to communicate too early, he will feel pressured and he will not understand why you don't give him the space. I have to say that most of the time when a man was very close and then become distant, it could be a player. It could be someone that just wants to flirt, just wants to date. So you still have to be a little bit careful. It's very important.
Oh, I love that. And it kind of it goes to like the whole dynamic of dating. Like in an ideal dating scenario, we have a man kind of chasing and trying to pursue a woman. So he's texting her, he's calling her, he's messaging her, he's asking her out. And then what I think we see happen and why this gets confusing is he pursues. Then like maybe you sleep together or you get a relationship and then all of a sudden he pulls back and it's like, well, what the heck? And the guy that comes back in a week or keeps showing up once a week, well, he just wanted maybe sex, or he just, once he got you, he got bored. But the guy who consistently shows up day after day after day, and even when he does need some man cave, he's not going to go away for that long because he's going to remember, hey, I'm falling for this woman. I'm all about her. So if he just keeps showing up, and then when you realize he's in the man cave and you pull back a little bit, you lean back and wait for him, well, then we get to see how he behaves. Does he show back up? So am I articulating kind of what your feelings on it? Is that right?
Exactly, Mike. And I love what you say because I know it comes from experience because you're just coaching so many people. And it's exactly what you're saying. Basically, a man will try to come back after 1 week, 10 days, then he would go on his main cave, or he would just be distant. This is, for me, toxic because he's not consistent. But the one that is consistent and they can tell you, okay, you know what, next week I have to work, so I will not be too close to you. I cannot come to see you. I will not pick up my phone. If he's doing once a while, it's okay. Now, if it's coming in a bit, we will just set some boundaries, which is very important too, because you have to trust yourself. You have to trust your communication. You can be part of this relationship. So yeah, Mike, it was really what I wanted to say because sometimes I speak too fast. This is what I wanted to
perfect.
say.
I understood it perfectly. Guys, in the comments, did you understand what Alex was talking about?
I hope so.
Give us some
better.
Give us some affirmation that you got it, because I totally got it. So I want to move on a little bit, still on the same topic. So we've got this, let's use a scenario where you're dating and we're trying to figure out kind of where the relationship is. And at this point, you've decided you like them. And you're like, well, are we exclusive? Should I take my information off the dating sites? Like, hey, Bobby down the street asked me out. Can I go out with Bobby? Like, what are my rules? So how do we figure out pursue a man to get him to ask for commitment or what's the process there?
Wow, that's a very good question. Tricky question because we all have this question sometimes, should I still date other men? Should I talk about my feelings? Should I ask him to go out? Can I make the first move? I feel that today what is very important is to be 100% yourself, as I said. Now, the first thing that just blow my mind is every time I coach a man, he comes to see me and he said, Alex, I want to meet women. I want to work on my self-confidence. I want to be more charismatic. And every time a woman came, she will ask me, Alex, I want this specific guy in my life. I don't care about Bob. I don't care about John. It's only this guy that I want. And I love to say, don't put your eggs in the same basket. Don't put all of your eggs in the same basket. So until it's become very clear that this guy is involved, is meeting the requirements. So basically, we will raise your standard until you know that this guy is okay for being your boyfriend. Until then, I will ask you to continue to socialize with people, to not just look at him, because sometimes this behavior will make him feel that he can take you for granted. So now moving on to this situation where you want to push a man to commit, or when you want to make sure that you can talk to him, I feel that it's very important for you to not lose your personal life. How many times I've seen women telling me, Alex, I'm dating this guy. He asked me to go out. Normally, I should have been with my girlfriends, but I declined with them. And I just told him that, yes, I was available for him. So don't make yourself too much available. Now, if you want to make the first move, or at least if you want to engage communication and make sure that you can move from dating to being in a relationship, I found that there is always a moment. This moment is when a man will discover something with you. So basically, I like to say that if you show your personality, this guy will fall in love with you. And I've coached this lady. She's a big fan of art and photography. And she took this guy to this art expo. And it worked very well. He learned a lot of things because of her. And that's where they started to be very intimate, not sexually, but very in a chemistry. So my goal is to ask you to do new things to show him what he can learn with you. In this case, you will become more intimate, and then the relationship will start, I feel that naturally. But sometimes you have to, I feel in the US, we have to say that we are boyfriend and girlfriend. This is something that we don't have in France. In France, first kiss will mean that we are kind of in a relationship or in the attraction process. In the US, I found that it's very important for you to tell him, okay, but I want to start something serious. So I want to make sure that you can also make me feel different. You can also teach me something. So basically, you will raise your standard. This guy will do everything to attract you. And I feel that you will be in a relationship without saying, do you want to be in a relationship, which is maybe sometimes scary to say.
I've got a question about this. I think we've all been programmed, especially in the United States, that a date kind of has to look the same all the time. Like the date is consistently, let's go to a bar and go have a drink, or let's go to a coffee shop and get a coffee if you're not a drinker. But from what I'm hearing from you is to really build a better relationship is go do an activity that shows something that you love doing and sharing that with your date. Is that really going to make a guy come closer to you versus, just going to a bar and having a cocktail?
Exactly what I think. This is part of my philosophy. We can debate. There is not only one way to find love, of course. But I found in my philosophy that I want you to be able to say no. No to the drink, no to the restaurant, no to the coffee, and try to find something different, right? It could be to go to the gym together, to go to a yoga, to walk on the beach, or just do something different that you love also. So what I mean by that is most of the time I will ask you to tell him to come to an activity that you want to do, not something for him, something for you. So basically this guy will realize that you're different because it could be in the US, US, it's like really precise, but in France also, the first date are always the same. And it's just boring and annoying. So if you want to make a man comes closer to you, so if you went distant and you want to meet him again, I will encourage you to ask him to do something that maybe he has never done in his life, because this is how we can create memories. And memories are part of attraction. What do you think, Mike, about the first date and activities or not? I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, to be honest, you're speaking my language perfectly.
Wow.
Because so in my own dating life and all my clients, I hear complaints, and I have the complaints, and my clients have the complaint of like, oh, I hate dating. I just like go meet the guy and we don't have anything in common. And then I go home and I got all dressed up and my makeup and my hair, and it sucked. And then I did that again and again. But so I'm like, well, what if we made dating fun? What if you only agreed to do things that were fun? So even if you don't like the guy, you're still doing something fun. And they're like, well, that's awesome. But, you know, the man's in charge. Like, he picks the date. And I'm like, well, how about you say something kind of in your feminine, like, you know, it would be amazing if we could do X on a date. It would make me so happy if you took me on a hiking date or whatever date you want to do. And he's like, ooh, a man on a mission. Like, hold on, I can make her happy. Let me plan this date that, you know she'll like. And that does sound fun. And what's great about it is the men that want to do that activity, they're all over it. And the guys that don't, who have the different interests than you, they'll weed themselves out and they won't go on a date with you. So for me, it works out perfectly.
It's amazing what you say. And I just remember something. It will also make the men that just want sex to leave you. I've seen a comment saying, I'm just tired of this guy, just wanted to sleep with me. Of course, if you tell them, oh, but no, I want to do an activity, or you know what, I want to do something that we have never done or we have never experienced. I don't want to date. I'm over the dating. I fear that the man that just wants sex will go to another one because he wants something easier. But the guy that want to meet or that want to leave something will love your philosophy, Mike. Wow, this is exactly what you have to do, ladies. It's so good.
Oh, I love it. All right, so back to our topic. Why men act distant after getting close? Do this instead to get him running back. Part of getting him to run back, right, is just embodying confidence. Because, like, I mean, I can't tell you how irresistible it is when a woman's just confident in her skin and she's got her life together. So with that being said, like, it's hard to be confident all the time, right? And I know, like myself, like, I have my insecurities about a lot of various things. But let's talk about helping women right now so that they feel amazing and they can embody that. And just so everyone knows, there's been studies, and the number one most attractive thing in regards to dating and relationships is confidence, bar none, by far. And it's for both sexes. It's not one way or the other. Confidence is king, and confidence gets you exactly the great guy, the relationship. Now, so how can women be confident with a man is the question.
That's a very good question. And I feel that it's very not easy. As you said, Mike, we all have our insecurities. And I feel that these insecurities will just increase when you feel that this guy that you like is being distant. And at this moment, the only one thing that you will feel will be the negative emotions, the fear to lose him, fear to think that you made a mistake. Am I the problem? And not, you're not. And also the last thing is to build confidence with a man, you need sometimes the reverse psychology. Let me explain to you. When a man will meet you, most of the time, he has to do the job. So he has to fight for you. And he will be able to desire you. So he will text you, he will call you, he will ask you to go out, he will just make plan. Oh, we should go there, we should do this, until he knows and he get the point where he thinks that he can take you for granted, or at least maybe you slept together or you kissed together. So he knows that now you're not anymore a challenge, right? At this moment, his behavior can shift. because he's not seeing a confident woman. He would think that now it's okay. Basically, he got his gift and he knows what to do. The best way you can react now and to be confident within yourself is to make sure that you will always challenge him. What do I mean by that is you need to tell yourself, I want him to re-attract me. I want him to attract me. I want him to text me, to call me, and also to ask me to go out. So the few rules that I will always ask my client coaches to do is, number one, don't do the first step. I know it's difficult, but if you want to regain control and power, don't text him. Because if you text him and he's not picking up, not responding, if he's not the same than yesterday, you will lose your confidence. So it's better to not do nothing. Step number two is to understand that when he will come back, you will have to tell him or show him that his behavior is not acceptable. So the way we will rebuild confidence is, what can I do when he comes back to me? What behavior should I have? What kind of tone of voice? What kind of behavior, attitude? And you can find this in my free gifts that are below, because I really wanted to share with you the behavior and the attitude that you should have. And the last thing for self-confidence that I love and that I teach people is just using the positive thoughts and positive energy. Just to repeat to yourself, I know that I deserve a good man. Just to visualize. You can close your eyes and visualize your life tomorrow without this guy, but still sunny with a lot of positive energy. When you do that, you will just understand that your happiness doesn't rely on him. You just get to know him and you lived without him for years, so you don't need him. Just by focusing on yourself and with this inner self-confidence circle, I just feel that you will be able to be confident with men. The only one exercise I will ask you to do, and you can do it tonight in the comment section or tomorrow, just ask yourself, what need a man to do before he becomes your boyfriend? And don't be too general. Most of the time they will say, I want him to be generous. I want him to be to give me attention. I'm sorry, but this is not specific. You need to be very specific. I want him to buy me flowers. I want him to invite me to an amazing restaurant. I want him to tell me that I am beautiful. The more specific you will be, the best confidence you will have, because you raise your standard. So I want you to raise your standard by asking more from a man, and you will control your mindset for not being too nice or too available. I hope it helps.
I love that. Guys, before we keep moving on, I just want to let you know, if you're live, go put some questions in there, because we're going to do that in about 2 minutes. We're going to answer some questions. And if you're not live, go in the comments. Alex and I will be checking it.
Sure.
Ask us anything under the sun, and we'll answer that. We'll type it out. And we check every message. Or I check on my channel every message, and I'll get Alex in there as well. Alex, I just want to highlight what you just said, which I thought was honestly some of the best advice I think I've ever heard out of a coach. And it's unique too. And I've been doing this for 10 years, and I know a few hundred love and relationship experts. So I really want to highlight what you said, because I've never heard it before. Is you said women need to challenge a man. And ladies, I cannot tell you how much that resonated with me as a man. That was so powerful, because think about that. Think about the guy, that married couple that's been married for 30 years and maybe they lost their spark. Think about when you're a year in and he's being distant, or you're not getting the quality relationship you want, and all of a sudden you challenge him to be better. As a man, just to be clear, I'm a man. If you tell me, like, you set, like, you're not, I challenge you to do this, I'm like, oh, baby, a challenge? I am freaking all over this. So that's just so powerful. And I've had women do that to me. And guess what? I want to step up to the plate. If I care about the woman, I want to step up to the plate. If I don't care about the woman, I'm not doing crap. So it's a great way. I know we don't want to play games, but to see where you're at with your guy is challenging him. Hey, You'd make me so happy if you'd take me on an amazing date, and see what he does. Alex, what I want to hear from you is, I just gave my example, but you're the French expert. How do you have women execute a challenge? Because I think this is so powerful.
Yes, thanks so much for giving me this compliment. It means a lot from you, You're kind of a mentor for a lot of relationship experts, so it's really nice to hear your thoughts. And, in France, we are known for the seduction. I know that seduction in the US has this sexual connotation, which in France, it's not this. It's like being flirty. We love the art of seduction, basically. And so what I realized is women, when they love a guy, when they like a guy, they will say yes to everything. Would you like to go on a date? Yes. Would you like to go to the restaurant? Yes. They are scared to say no because in their mind, they will count themselves. But if I say no, I will lose him. And these thoughts are from women from all over the world, not just in France, finally. So craziness, but if you want to become a challenge, you have to say no. Sometimes, not every time, but if you don't feel about something, or if he's asking you to meet every single day, I feel that you should say no. No, I'm sorry, I have something to do tonight. And you are just naturally a challenge because you said no. And something that I really love in Mike's example was, if you challenge the guy, for example, oh, I love this idea, but I think we can do something different. It's sunny or it's raining. What can you do? I want you to find something different. This guy will go on Google. This guy will make his research. But when he does that, it values something very important, in my opinion, is she is different. And I want to please her. I want to show her that, yes, not only during 3 or 4 weeks, ladies, it's very important to continue, and also for yourself, to make a little surprise, or sometimes to do just a little things, Little things will be, for example, to organize something for him. So my fiance got me because I love Hershey's. In France, I never ate some chocolate bar Hershey's before. And when I came to the US, I was crazy. So when I came to her place, she's not eating Hershey's, but I see one on the table and I realized it was for me. And I told myself, oh my God, she's the one. So basically, just some little things like that. But I understood that I have to do the same for her. I feel that this reciprocity and sometimes saying no, sometimes showing that you can just add this special attention are very important. So we are not playing the game. I feel that what we try, at least what I try, is very important for me. I try to help you be 100% yourself. I've seen a question from a woman, in the chat saying, okay, this guy come in the first date and wants to offer me gift. What should I say? I mean, if you don't want this gift, if you think it's too early, you can tell him, thanks so much. It's really nice from you, but I feel it's too early. I don't deserve it for now. You know what? Let's wait to see how it goes, and then I will take it in like a couple of weeks. But if you take the gift and you feel scared and you're not 100% yourself, this is what we don't want for you as relationship expert. Do I respond to the question, Mike, that was like how to become a challenge? It's no, and most of the time, new activities. Ask him to organize something. It will do it. It will do it.
I love that. And just to be clear, he's not saying propose what it is. He's saying, did you hear him? He's like, oh, it's sunny out. Like, what could we possibly do outside? And so you're still allowing him to go into his masculine and Google it, what it is. You're not stepping into your masculine and planning the date for him. So I absolutely love that. I'd love to do some of these questions. I'm going to start at the top here. I thought this one was really interesting. I'll plop it on the screen. So from Michelle, thank you, Michelle. That's a great question. Why not start out as friends? No pressure to date. Men could then be vulnerable as well as the women. Alex, what do you think about that?
That's a very good question, Michelle. Thanks so much for asking. I feel that, Mike, I would like to pick your brain too. But what I would say would be very like, Michelle, I feel that men, what we want is to get you. We want to know that we are the one for you. So your question is what I hope one day will happen. We start as friends, we just find the chemistry and we become love. But men will always try to get this girl. They will try to get you. So that's why they will always text you. I feel that the word is love bombing. They will just try everything. I love you. I've never felt like this any like with someone else before. Oh my God, you are exactly the woman of my dreams. So they don't want to start as friend. They want to chase you. I feel that some of the men will be toxic because they only play the game, and some other men wants to value a woman. So being as friend at the beginning, maybe it doesn't bring enough attraction for them. So I will say that we hear the most that men are chasing you, they hunt you. That's part of our, like, I don't know, body, emotions, attitude, energy. So that's why we cannot become as friends, even if Michelle, I will give you 100% the trust. What you said was very, very smart. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I'd like to relate this to a very relevant topic at the time that we're filming this. Let's talk about coronavirus. And so coronavirus, it lasts for 14 days. So if you went in quarantine for 14 days, it's gone, right? And this isn't total backed up science, but stay with me on this. Let's pretend that every single person stayed in their house for 14 days and didn't leave. Theoretically, the disease would go away. So theoretically, but the problem is people need to go out and get groceries. People need to leave the house for varying reasons. And it's just not realistic for it to happen. And so in terms of your idea, from a theoretical standpoint, I think it's ingenious. From a practicality standpoint, I think it has some areas where it can work, being friends. You know, to Alex's point, men want to have sex and earn you or get their relationship. But there are some men that are taking this dating thing wildly seriously and maybe are doing a lot of self-work. And they're like, you know what? Not every woman's going to be for me. And maybe they happen to be a person that's a networker, which, Michelle, maybe you're a networker where you have a big group of people in your extended circle and you love to kind of know a lot of people and a lot of things. There's men out there that like that too. I happen to be one of those men. I'm a networker. I know a lot, or I keep in my extended circle thousands of people. So in case, you know, I want to introduce, I've got someone at some place. So if you meet a man that happens to be a networker, you can say, hey, how about we go on our first date and we just treat each other as friends? And what we'll do is if we seem to have so much stuff in line, then we'll date each other. Or maybe we'll get to know each other and be like, you know what? I've got the perfect person for you. So if you say it up front and they agree to it, because they happen to have a similar personality as you, rock and roll. What do you think, Alex?
I feel that this is very powerful, and I didn't think about that first, but yes. As I said, it's difficult to start being friend because some people will take it seriously, because some people will just have for sex, and some other people, like the French people, we love the dating and the attraction process. So I'm not sure it would be that easy to become friend, but that was a very nice thought and question, Michelle. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Michelle. And let us know what you think of our answer and if that was helpful, if you're still on. I believe you are. All right. This one was so relevant to today's topic. MN Horsewoman. How long should we wait? This is great, Alex. I'm getting bored. The guy hasn't been there in 10 days. What do you think about that? What should she do?
So that's where the difficulty is, because there is no magic solution. I can tell you wait 4 days or 7 days, or it doesn't work like this. Most of the time, 10 days is like the at much less that you can, days that you can just let this guy know you. But I would tell you that it's time for you, or at least when a man is being distant for a week, you can talk to him. You can talk about your feelings. You can say, you know, I know that there is this concept of the main crave, and it's very important for you to take your time. I just feel that I'm beginning a little bit bored and annoyed by this behavior. So I feel that you can take your distance, but at least you need to communicate with me your feelings. Why and how long do you want to take this distance? To see what he will say. Because also a man that is getting distant, if you show him that you can set some boundaries, he can realize what he's doing. Because if not, if you don't say anything, and if you let him do whatever he wants, he can he can consider that he's not doing any mistake, which is crazy, I understand. But maybe in his mind he's thinking, oh, it's normal, she's not saying anything. So I will say that 7 days is okay. And then if you want to talk about it, you can. Because you let him the time to be by himself. What do you think, Mike? Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's good. Now, what if, is she allowed to like message him and say, hey, like, it's been a while since we talked. I'm feeling lonely. I so miss you. Like, I miss laughing with you. I miss hanging out with you. Is that acceptable, or what do you think?
I think that I like it, but I will not use the word I miss. I feel this is putting your value a little bit low, basically. And I remember our first interview when I interviewed you on my YouTube channel. You talk about this, and it was, it's important to show your feelings and to show your emotions. I just feel that sometimes some words like miss or love, I love doing this with you, this type of words can be turned off. It sounds crazy like this, but I will try to find some different words to say, I want to enjoy, I want to laugh with you again, which is okay, but miss or love, and I will say that's maybe a little bit too much.
Well, this one's a loaded question, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to answer this, but we'll try. Why are some men toxic? Is it immaturity?
I would say that it's a lack of education. There is also immaturity, of course. Growing up as a man, we have this kind of challenge. Oh, I got this girl, I will get this one. I think it's part of, sometimes, I will not say for everyone, but at least for me, when I did mistake, it was because of my immaturity and because I didn't value love. So this type of guy, they have their routine. I always give this example. If you let a man do all the first step, he will consider you as other women. And this specific example is when you walk to a restaurant with this guy. It's your date, you like him, and you went to the restaurant and he said to the server, hey, Bob, how are you doing, buddy? I'm so happy to see you. And this Bob is saying, oh my God, it's nice to see him. You're a nice guy. You will love this guy, blah, blah, blah. Basically, you're not the first one that he's bringing to this restaurant. Why? Because he has his own habit. And we know as men that the social value is very important for you too. Why am I saying this? It's because you will not see toxic men. Sometimes it's because of immaturity. Sometimes it's because they just don't want to have fun and they don't want to commit to a relationship. I would say that most of the time it's because they don't value women, love, and you. That's why I was asking you to challenge him. And if he wants to go to one restaurant, you should say no, because I can guarantee you that you're not the first one that is going there. And he would get the same meal and the same dessert, and he will try to end up in his house. Just try to avoid this pattern. But why men are some toxic? I will also say that in our society, I just realized that we don't talk to, we have like the education of Walt Disney and Hollywood. So this is the love dream. But some people, some men, they're just attracting by the game. And for example, my best friend, which is a woman, she is always in a relationship fighting with her boyfriend, and she loves this. And I just hate it. I just don't understand her. So sometimes there is toxic men because we don't understand that some of them are very attracting by the challenge, the fight, which is not what many we don't want to be in this relationship. So I will say that we have to accept that some people are just different than us.
Oh, I love that. All right, let's move on. Oh, you did the gift one. Okay. DD, what do you tell a men if they want to get... Oh, we did that one.
That was this one too, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
DD. Thank you so much for your comments, guys. I hope you understand my French accent. Thanks to Elena. She's here tonight. She introduced me to you, Elena Art.
Ah, there's Helena. Hi, Helena. I hope you're still watching. Nice to see you. Oh, that's so nice. Thanks, guys. Dating sites. I forget where this question was. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry, guys. I'm not very good at navigating this. 95% of dating sites, you have to ignore the comment. What do you mean by that, Cindy? You have to ignore the comments to find the guy. So that means, are you saying, which is a stat I've quoted, do you mean like if 20 messages come in, 19 of them are not a guy that makes sense for you? So you need to focus on that 1 out of 20. If that's the case, that's the math that I've seen over the last 10 years that I've been teaching online dating and using analytics for me, Harmony, Match, and OkCupid. So totally agree with that.
That's true.
Alex, have you found with online dating this to be somewhat true?
So basically, I found that online dating is it could be seen as a problem or as an opportunity. What do I mean by that is when you're on a dating website, if you go to find love, you will find the craziest men in the world. But if you go there and just try to discuss with men like they are good friends and you don't care, you will be able to find love. So most of the time, it's the mindset that you have during an action. So dating website, there is crazy people, there is very good people. There is very, very good people. And for example, myself, I met my fiancée on a dating app because I didn't speak English. So I have to use Google Translator. It was not easy, but when we met, the connection was there. So I just recommend you to go there, but not to put pressure on your shoulders, not to try to know everything about him. Just talk as friend, make sure that you will smile to each other. And I feel that this will just empower your attraction. So dating website or dating app, for me, it's a good opportunity. It just increases your chance to talk to people and maybe to have a good surprise. This is how you should see it. And as Cindy is saying, there is maybe just 5% of good people. We want to avoid the 95%. We want to talk to the 5%, and something beautiful can come up for sure.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, and let's not get discouraged. Can I just add one thing, Alex? Do you mind?
Sure, of course.
It's all about staying in a high vibration when you're doing online dating, right? And so what I find, and I used to do this too, is we have the notifications turned on for Bumble, Hinge, or Match, or whatever we're using, right? And so every time we get a message, it dings or it vibrates, and we go check it, and we're like, "Ooh, I got a Match message. Here we go." And then you look, and you're like, this person is not a fit, or this person's 20 years off my age, or just it's not aligned. So then 20 minutes later, an hour later, I got another one. And you do this like every hour, and every time you get discouraged. So what I encourage folks to do that are using online dating is set up a system where you go on 3 times a week. And so it's like 8 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example. And then when you go on, you're looking at 10 messages, or you're looking at 20 messages, or 5, or whatever you get. But then you're looking, and let's say you get 10 or 20, and you're like, I got 2 good ones. You spend 0 of your energy on the 18 bad ones, or the 18 non-fit ones. And you spend your energy all excited about, all right, I've got 2 good ones. Let's see if we can move that forward, whether it be another message, getting on a date, getting on a Zoom call, whatever you need to do to move it forward. Does that make sense, Alex?
That makes a lot of sense. And I feel that when you use the techniques and you have the right mindset, you can find love. And if it doesn't happen, it's okay. There's a lot of men everywhere in the world. You don't care about it. But I feel that when you have the techniques, and what I love with what you're saying, Mike, is you're giving like practical example. You just have to follow the rules or to follow the advice, because when you will do it, you will change your habit of like going every time on this app. Oh, I like him. I don't like him. He's not responding to me. Do you know why he's not responding? You're just like putting a lot of pressure and negativity in your mind. So yeah, that's very good what you're saying, Mike. I just want to point something to you. There is Nene that had a super question. So I feel that she asked you a super question. If you look at the chat, it was.
How do I go to?
So it's like above this one, you will see it's different color. I didn't see the question. I just see that
Is that
She,
what you did
yeah,
it? I
but
don't know how to
I
get to
just
that.
I feel that there is no question. So she asked another one, just right below Elena Hurt. I
Oh,
went
this one.
to,
That's
yeah,
it?
I
Okay.
feel so. Tell us, Nene, if it's this one that you want us to do, just to make sure.
Sorry, I didn't know super chat existed. I
Me
don't.
too. That's the first time that I saw a comment. I was like, oh, I'm scared.
It seems like she sent us $5 for this question. I have no idea how she did it, but thank you. All right,
Thanks.
I went through regaining my confidence standards while being feminine. He came to me for about 3 months up until last week. I said no sex until after 3 dates. He's upset. No talk for 1 week now. All right, what do you think, Alex?
Okay, so I don't know all the detail, but when I listen to your message, when I read your message, I feel that this guy is a little bit manipulative, meaning that he will try to be upset so you can feel guilty and you can give him sex, what he wants. And I'm not sure he's trying to get to know you or trying to get to know why you said no sex after 3 days. So I want to tell you that it's better for you to not reach out to him. And when he comes back, you will tell him that you want something where you can learn about each other. Make sure that you will, yeah, just introduce yourself to each other and do activities. What is maybe a little bit difficult for a man is when you say no sex until after 3 dates. We can feel that you don't trust her. We can feel that you're not good with us, or we can feel that you're just applying basic rules, which is not letting you to be 100% yourself. But I will say that, and Mike, I want to pick your brain, but I will say that a good man, if you tell this to me, I will say, no, I understand. I can take my time. I'm not in a rush. But this guy, if he's trying to be upset and not talk to you, I feel that it shows his behavior as like something toxic, a little bit manipulative. Mike, what do you think from your side?
Yeah, I mean, I think the wording is key. So, I mean, he may just not be interested, right? Because he would keep showing up if he was really interested, and he'd climb any wall if he was interested, right? But as a coach for women, I want to make sure women are doing the right thing, and then we decide. We can't control the man whether he does the right thing. But in terms of communicating this, I think it's so important that we get it right. And so, like, if you're saying no sex until the third date, it's like, what does that mean? Like, okay, whatever. But if you bring us closer in your boundary and you drive us towards you, it could be exciting. Where instead it's like maybe I'm trying to be sexual and you go, oh my God, like this is getting me turned on and I'm like really into you, but I don't have sex until I'm in a relationship. But oh my God, like you are so attractive and I'm having so much fun. Like, let's keep getting to know each other and see if it makes sense to be in a relationship down the road. Oh my God, you're so hot. And so now it's like, you've given me hope. You've given me hope that eventually we could be in a relationship. Eventually we can have sex. But if it's just like, whoa, I don't have sex until the third relationship. Like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job. I don't know if I should keep pursuing you. It's just like, ooh, I should stop. But regardless of how you said it, I'm just teaching best practices. But regardless, like if the guy is really into you, I think he's going to keep showing up and keep pursuing you. So it's probably time to move on and then find a guy that's just going to keep, as Alex has talked about earlier in the live stream, consistently showing up. That's a guy that's serious about you, right, Alex?
Yeah, I think that's very important what you say, because first of all, what we want to tell you is like to be 100% yourself. And Mike just pointed some words that are very important when you want to say no sex or let's see how it goes. Because when you have this best behavior, this best attitude, I feel that you can get any man that will be serious. And this guy, I don't know why, I feel that he's not really nice and talkative. So I will be careful on your side.
All right. I love this question. I can't wait to get your opinion. I thought this was such a brilliant question. Dee, I think we've spoken on the phone, but this is a phenomenal question. How do you set boundaries if he's being distant? So he's pulled away without being a nag. Sorry, she said bag, but it's nag. We got it. So how do you set boundaries without being a nag?
That's a good question. I feel, first of all, that it's very important for you to not respond like the past. So if he's coming back to you, he was distant and he comes and he just expects you to be nice, to be smiling. I feel that our tone of voice should be a little bit serious, first of all. Another thing is you will try to not really respond to him and be very friendly. So he will understand exactly that he didn't do something right. And we want to see if he would just try to excuse himself, try to talk to you, and make sure that he understands what you want, basically. But the best way to set boundaries, I feel, is to open up, is to say, I really like you. I enjoy the time we spend together, but I don't like the game. I don't like to be hot and cold. So I want you to show me more consistency. He will say, yes, 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 yes. And then it's easy. In my opinion, you should not do the first step. He has to text you, he has to call you, he has to ask you out for a couple of weeks. That's how you will set boundaries. By showing him what you want, by telling him what you want, and by just working on yourself to not do the first step. I know it's difficult, and I know he would be a little bit mad at you, but it's very important for you to try to do this so you will change your behavior and try to change your habits. Because I've seen so many women who told me, look, like Nane, she responds, she said, I've been dealing with him for 7 years after he disappeared and come back, I created a no sex. So guys will just disappear and come back and expect you to still be in love. So the best way to set boundaries is for you to show him that you're not in love and you don't like his behavior. But you can do it with a smile. You can do it with a good tone of voice. Just don't be too nice and tell him what you want. And don't do the first step. That would be my 3 advice to set boundaries for you, D. Mike, would you like to add something?
I think that was perfect.
Thank you.
Positivity. I mean, that was just perfect answer, so I don't need to add. So we'll keep going. Is it okay to take twice the time to answer after it took days to reply, or does it make it worse? Alex, you mind if I take this one?
For sure. Go for it.
We don't need to play games. Like if you start playing games, he starts playing games, like it's just going to end poorly. So I just say when you get something, and I mean, ultimately, if you built a life, right, where you're busy and you're doing stuff, you're going to respond when you're not busy. So like, for example, right now, I'm sure I'm getting text messages. Alex and I are doing a live stream. So when I'm done with the live stream and I'm done, saying goodbye to Alex, I'll go check my phone and I'll respond to whether it be friends, family, whoever. So I'm not playing a game. It's just I have stuff going on at the moment. And so that's how you should live your life in terms of responding to a guy. You've got your life. So go build that life that's amazing and makes you happy and your work and whatever, and then respond. Does that make sense? And what do you think, Alex?
That makes a lot of sense. So the more your life will be busy, the best it will be for you. So we don't want to play a game. We just want to make our life amazing. And so one thing that I like to say sometimes is it's not the time you take to respond. It's also what you would say. So if you tell him, oh my God, I was on YouTube learning about how to talk Spanish, or I was on reading a book, I was going out with my friends, this guy will see that he can take whatever the time he wants, but you have an active life and you love it. So I feel that we don't want to play a game. We want to make sure that our life is amazing, and we want to tell him that our life is amazing. Not by saying my life is amazing, but just by saying I went to do bowling with my friends. It was so good and I won. Something like funny, like make the communication easier and go for it. So yeah, that would be what I can say.
Beautiful. Okay, this is a long one, so I'm going to summarize it, but I thought this was interesting. So this 6-month mark, she's in her 30s. She's not in her 20s anymore. She wants to get married, have kids. He's wanting to date for several years, so he's willing to take his time. She's ready to go in terms of getting married. And she said he could go date someone else if, he needs more time. And so now they're getting closer to the 1 year mark, and we haven't talked about how do they revisit the like, hey, is this serious? Do you want to get married, have kids? Like, are they aligned? How do they revisit that conversation?
That I'm trying to read because with my French, it's like,
All right, let me explain it. They've been dating. Oh, you got it?
No, so go ahead, go for it. Explain to me. It will be better.
All right, we've got a couple in their 30s, I'm assuming. So they're both in their 30s. She is feeling, it sounds like feeling a little bit of that time clock with the whole have babies, get married thing. And he's, clearly doesn't have that same sense of urgency, or maybe doesn't feel the same way she feels. So they're getting closer to the 1 year mark. How does she talk to him about, is he serious, and where does he see this headed?
So that's a very good question. And there is no perfect answer, because when we change a behavior, we can lose that person, we can win that person. I just feel that it's sad to take a decision and have the hope that one day a guy will be involved in or commit to a relationship, because you can always have this hope and nothing will change and he will continue to just do whatever he wants. So I think it's time for you to communicate with him about why is it very important for you. I've seen so many situations where women wanted to get married, the guy didn't want to get married, just because for him, marriage is not very important. So if you talk about the why, maybe it would just increase your chances for him to get involved in a relationship. But if you continue to date him and he can do whatever he wants and you will see what happened one day, I don't like it. For personally, in my philosophy, I just don't like it. I would just tell you, you know what, talk about the why. And if it doesn't want to please you, I think it's not the one. I'm not about getting married, and I will get married next month because I understand why it's very important for her. So I just feel that it's all about, am I willing to do it? Am I willing to do the effort and to really try everything for my relationship? Or am I being selfish and I just want to do whatever I want? So I don't want to influence you, but I feel the why is very important. And if it's not working, I would just tell you to not waste your time.
I love that. That is what I would say. I'm going to take this one.
Sure.
I think this is in my wheelhouse. What's going on with the guys who keep circling after you ask them a question, but they don't respond, just keep looking at your online profile? Great question. So I want to talk about online dating as a funnel and dating in general as a funnel. So imagine you're a funnel and we're throwing guys in at the top, and the top of the funnel has a lot of things. And then as you get lower, there's less guys, right? So the top of the funnel is a guy looking at your profile. And then as we get lower would be a guy who's messaging you. And then as we get lower on the funnel, a guy that's on a date with you, a guy that's on multiple dates, and then a guy you really like. So based on this funnel, you give the most time to the folks that are down here, and you give the least time to the folks that are up here, because we got to maximize your time, because I'm all about the most efficient way to get a partner. So a guy that's just circling around, we need to get him to a decision on whether he's possible. So I would love, this is when we can step into our masculine, if we will, because I don't believe there's masculine and feminine online. There's just masculine and feminine energy for me in person when you interact. So I say, go into your masculine, ask him on a date. And it's either going to be a yes or a no. And if it's a Zoom date or a phone call, whatever you decide you're comfortable with, get that to a yes or a no, and then move him down the funnel and do it quickly. Because up here, we don't have time for these folks, because we need to get down here to someone we're happy with quickly so that we're not dating forever. So just ask them out and see if it's a yes or a no. Alex, do you want to add something to that?
Honestly, no, because it's not my where I'm the best at, and I found that your theory of the funnel is very important too. Don't waste time, ladies. Don't waste time. You have so much power in the attraction process, in the dating process, that you should follow Mike's advice and just go for it. You specialize very also with the dating, and you help women to find love on dating app and dating website, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I got started.
Awesome.
Yeah, 10 years ago, I came up with an online dating methodology that got 7 of my friends married. Then I started a business. Then I was getting 83% of folks into relationships with that method. 6 years ago, that got me on the Today Show because no one was this successful. Then Match, OkCupid, Harmony were like, how the heck are you getting so many people in relationships? So they reached out. And then ever since then, I've been using their data to do online dating.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's my background. Sorry, guys, if that was boring.
No, that was good. We want to know the secrets.
Oh, look, all these people are so thankful. I'm so thankful Alex is here.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I got to keep looking. Sorry, guys, I'm not as efficient at this. So Didi came after you for 3 months, but you hadn't had 3 dates.
It was based on the question that we do. Yeah.
Alex, do you see?
You will wait. Yeah. You want me to get a question?
Do you see any that you want to talk about while I'm looking for a good one? Guys, thank you so much for all these questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of good questions. So, yeah, let's do. Annie asked me a question. Oh, I would just do this one. Chocolate velvet.
Okay.
I went out with this guy a few times. After one of our dates, he said he had not found the one. I know he's dating multiple people. What is the response to that? Oh, so basically when a guy is saying that he had not found the one, he's very confident. So basically he's not trying to chase you, you know? And I feel that what you should do is like, me too, you know, it's difficult to find someone that you are very the chemistry. So basically it will challenge him. We want to challenge him to not think that he is the boss and he didn't find the one. He needs to fight for you. So I would just challenge him by just confronting him and saying like, yeah, me too. I feel that we have a good chemistry, but I feel that we are missing something. And you can just say we and not you if you want to not attack him. But I will make sure that this guy needs to change the process he dates you. And maybe you should say no sometimes or try to challenge him. I feel that it's not how you react to something, it's how you take control of the situation that is very important. And that's why we do what we do, is to help you regain control of the situation. Because if we are just reacting, what do? It's like dancing. The man is doing everything and we just follow. It will take you for granted for sure. So I will try to challenge him. What do you think, Mike?
I think that was perfect. I love your challenge. Like, I'm going to use that if you don't mind. I love that. Like, that is some of the best advice I think I've ever heard. God, that would draw me to a woman. Like, I would love that. Oh, my camera's not focusing. Let me fix that. There we go. Okay, let's go to Marianne. You mentioned that the guy wants to try and get you right away. This friend I have wanted friendship right away, but I was treated like a queen. It's 4 years. He doesn't want marriage. Time to sever. I love this question. Can I answer, Alex? Do you mind?
Of course. Go for it. It's your life, bro.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Like 4 years and he doesn't want marriage. If you want marriage and he doesn't want marriage, let's make this so simple. You want X, he doesn't want X. Let's sever it. And what happens is we start to really fall for someone, and then we start losing ourselves. We lose what we want. And that's insane. My close friend, or not close friend, but my favorite dating coach, who is a close friend of many of ours, John Gray, has speculated that there's 300,000 soulmates for every person. So once knowing that data, it is insane to stay with someone who's not aligned with what you want. Like, just move on. And, this is so important. Our divorce rate in the U.S. is above 50%. That means we suck at picking. We stink at it. And you know what? Even with some education, we still stink at it. And I'll prove my point. I was engaged. I'm sure some of you know my story. I was engaged a year and a half ago, and I broke off that relationship. So that was me as an expert, and I picked wrong. Nothing was wrong with this woman, but it wasn't the partner for me. So we got to stop rushing. We got to slow down to go fast. And the moment we realize things are not right, let's move on. Alex, what do you think about that?
I think that it's very funny. I learned a lot with you. And basically, you're right. You're right. And sometimes it's not easy to move on. So I would just recommend you to be distant, at least. Go step by step, be distant, not picking the phone, saying, I'm not happy in this relationship. If you want to go, try to move forward. But you have to put your mind in okay, I deserve more. I need to savor and I need to move on. It's very important. You can go step by step, but you need to train your mindset, like Mike was saying. Very important.
This is a good one. I love this one. I'm going to need you to answer this one.
Okay.
I meet men who are bad in sex. Any way to screen them before setting up a date to avoid wasting time for a relationship?
So basically, for me, I would say I'm not an expert with this topic too. When we talk about sexuality, for example, I would tell you that I don't know how to screen them before setting up dates. Maybe you can ask them how confident they are in bed. Maybe you can try to see if they're very confident. Maybe they show that they know how to do it. But you will have to waste time, I feel, to meet guys. And maybe just say, oh, the first time was not perfect. Let's try to learn how to have pleasure together. I will try to do it like a partnership and not say, oh, he's not doing good. I felt that all my first time with a woman was horrible because we don't know each other and comes with like confidence. And like Mike said, we all have insecurities. So just by talking or by showing what you want would be a good point to try to date people. But I understand that sex is very important in a relationship too. Sorry, Mike, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I love that. I think like the amount of time, I used to say the amount of time we were having sex is so minimal in comparison to the amount of time we're watching movies, we're going on hikes, we're going on bikes, we're doing other things, we're talking, we're going to restaurants. But then I realized that sex is kind of the barometer for how the relationship is doing. So it is important that although it's not a lot of time in terms of how much time you spend together, it is a barometer for how close you guys are and how much passion you have for each other. So I would say like it's going to be difficult to figure that out beforehand, but most men are very coachable if for some reason you get something that's not right. And at least the kiss can probably happen somewhere from date 1 to, let's say, date 8, whenever you decide to kiss. And usually that's the most important thing, right? If you've got a good kisser, then that's a good starting point. That's some good basic blocks. So if you've got a horrible kisser and there's no way to improve him, then maybe you move on. But what I've found with a lot of women, and unfortunately I've had a few clients that have men that are not great in bed. And this is a very fragile topic for men. So you want to be careful of their ego. But what you can do is start boosting them up and the things they are doing well and the aspects. Let's say they're not a good kisser. And when there's certain things that they're doing of the kissing that you like, you go, ooh, that feels good. Like, keep doing that. Ooh, I love it when you do this. So now you're directing him to get better. And you're not like, oh, I hate when you open your mouth wide and you slobber and hit my nose. Like, don't ridicule him, but be like, I love when you make your mouth like closed a little more. And then I love when you gently, put your tongue wherever. So you direct traffic. And then when he does it right, you go, ooh, that felt so good. And so you're giving him positive encouragement. So if you've got a great guy, which is, a great guy that really fits you, I would try to work on it if you can. And if it's unworkable, then, I'm sorry you had to waste a little time. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, that's very powerful. I learned a lot. I was like listening to you. And I saw that in the comments, someone say, yeah, if they don't kiss good, don't waste your time. So that's very fun.
I love hanging out with Alex. He must know that I'm words of appreciation because he compliments me.
No, but that's true. That's true. I love to learn. I love to learn, and it's very funny to see. I learned a lot about dating website tonight and sexuality. So that would be good.
Nice. I love it. I want to go back. So we were talking about the original topic of this live stream was why men act distant after getting close, and then do this instead to have them running back, right?
Yep.
And we want them running back. And I think one of the ways that you and I have talked about is being unique in his eyes. So I'd love to hear, and it's so powerful. Like we talked about confidence, but now it's being unique in his eyes. So maybe you could tell us how women can do that.
Basically, you have to be unique in your eyes. If you think that you need to fight for this guy, I fear that you will lose yourself. And being unique is, I talk a little bit about it, is what can you make him discover because of you? So because of your personality, and maybe I'm not saying it in the right way, so I will say you have a special personality and he can learn a lot with you. So please try to avoid the common dates. Try to avoid the fears of not talking. Try to avoid the nice behavior when he's not doing what you want. You need to set boundaries. And in one word, you need to challenge him, as we said. So we need to say no. We need to say no. It's very important. So the last thing I can say is what we want to do is like you. Men are like women. We want to enjoy the moment. And enjoying the moment means we need to feel emotions. And that's why I recommend you to do new activities. That's why I recommend you to communicate better together, because the more you can talk and the more you can enjoy the moment, the more you will see that you are unique. So that's why you don't have to hesitate to challenge him by picking the place. So you don't pick the place, but you can tell him, no, not this restaurant. That's it. He needs to continue to ask you. So we are not playing a game and being bad. Just try to be in the flirting way and try to challenge him so he will see that you're different. You're very, very different. And if you follow the advice we have talked tonight, specifically in the sense of being flirting, this is just different too, because no one is doing it with a man they like. Most of the time when you love someone, when you like someone, you're not 100% yourself. You're scared to do something bad. You're like this, shaking hands. No, I don't want you to do it. If you want to be unique, just think that this guy is like your best friend. That's it. What will you do with your best friend? How will you act with your best friend? This is how you can be 100% yourself.
Love that. Man, Alex is such a genius. Like, I love having him on here. He's got some free gifts that I want to highlight again. And guys, I don't want to make this confusing, but it's in my description. And then I'll make it a top comment once the video goes live as well. Alex, can you explain these two free gifts? That it's all in one link, and you're getting two gifts, so that's amazing.
Yeah, so basically, guys, ladies, I've created something special for you. I translated my bestseller in French called The Truth About Love. So in this book, I talk about my personal journey, but also the people I coach. So it's really what to do when you are in a one-sided relationship, or how to find love, how to love yourself. It's a book that can help you. It has a lot of people, thousands of people in France. And also I just attached tonight for you something specific, which are the 7 powerful messages. So if this guy is becoming distant, you need to send these text messages. You need to learn the philosophy about it. So I was thinking it's a good gift for you. And I just want to help you. So if you have any question, if you want to just download the gift, just do it. And make sure that you will work on yourself, because there is no my French accent when there is some documents like it's written. So you can read it. It will be easier for you.
I think the ladies love the French accent, but I am so excited for that, the 7 text messages, because, we talk a lot about leaning back. And I think some women are like, I'm tired of leaning back. Like I want to get involved. I want to do something. So now they have something that's still going to be feminine and still going to get a good result, and they can finally be a little more proactive. So I think that's so exciting that they've got a message to send now. So I'm going to have to check that out myself. I'm excited.
Yeah. this is something I would recommend to do. Sometimes we want to not be too much distant. We just need to value you, which is very, very, very important.
Yes. Wow. So many of you have stayed on. We've got 90 of you still here. Thank you so much. If you've got any last minute questions, please pop them in because we're going to have to hop pretty soon. But let's do one or two more. This is a great question. Is circular dating acceptable? Dating more than one man at the same period of time. I don't feel it is right to do, but I got so many advices like this. Do you want me to answer this? And
you can answer this. I feel that I told you before, maybe you were not here live, but in my opinion, it's really personal, but in my philosophy, I ask you to not put all of your eggs in the same basket. So I will ask you to date a lot of men. It's okay to date. I'm not saying to have relationship and sex with everyone, but I'm just saying that you need to have the choice. If you just date one man and it doesn't work, it's another one and you not work, I feel that you can lose time. So sorry, Mike, I just wanted to clarify my vision about this, but go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you restated that because in my personal opinion, I 100% agree with that. It's all about efficiency. And, you know, like I was talking about earlier, we have a 50% divorce rate because we don't choose the right person. And so if we need to be efficient, we got to get to a lot of people to get the one. So we have a lot of points of comparison and be like, whoa, this is definitely the one because all these things work out. But with that being said, like if you have a firm boundary where you can't date multiple people, I'm never going to try to change you. If you really can't do it, then you've got to do what's right for you. But in terms of efficiency and getting the right guy, my suggestion is to date multiple until one locks you down and you're happy to be with that person. Right, Alex?
Yeah. We don't want to change you. I just feel that sometimes it's important to do counterintuitive action, but not to change your personality. It's very important. As you say that it's about values, basically. Values are very important. In the meantime, sometimes to try to do new things, you can try, you see how it goes, you know, but only if it's acceptable for you.
Love it. Guys, thank you so much for staying on as long as you did. Oh, maybe we'll do one more. What if I had a conflict? I let him know about his comments because it was his third time he likes to joke since he's been distant. I'm giving him space. What do you think?
Monica, I'm not sure to understand the question. I'm sorry, because with this, it's common because it was his third time he likes to joke. I'm not sure to understand your question. I'm just saying that if it's someone that is being distant, give him space. And when he comes back, maybe you can have a communication, or you can show him that during this time when he was distant, you did a lot of good activities for yourself.
Love it. Well, I think I speak for everyone where I say, Alex, you are a complete genius.
Thank you so much.
Clearly have a great understanding of how men work, what they want in order to commit, and what to do when they're distant. I totally learned a lot, and I'm sure if we watch this back, you'll see me nodding my head nonstop because I just agree with pretty much everything you're saying. And the only times I'm not nodding is when I'm trying to find questions because I can't operate this very well. But everyone else, thank you for staying on. Go get Alex's free gift. The guy knows what he's talking about. He's been doing this a long time, and he's been doing it across countries. So he's able to help people all over the world. So obviously his advice works. So thank you, Alex, for being with us. And you're a genius and really helped all of us.
Thank you so much, Mike. It means a lot for me. And thank you, everyone, for your comments. I will continue to be there. So if you have questions, you can leave just right below. And as you say, the gifts are really here for you. So I hope it will help. And I hope you can just conquer this man that you really like by being yourself. I feel it's very important. So, Mike, thank you one more time. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Love all of you. Thanks, Alex.
Bye-bye.